Good afternoon, and welcome to the presentation of NJIT's Board of Overseers Excellence Award. It's a research award for 2016. I am Joel Bloom, and I have the great pleasure of greeting you this evening and serving as our university president. We have viewers from across the country and around the world who are watching this afternoon's ceremony on the internet. As well, there will be a video of the ceremony today, and it can be viewed later on the NJIT website. This research medal, the Overseers Research Medal, signifies exceptional accomplishment as a researcher. And for 2016, it is being awarded to our distinguished professor, Rajesh Davé. Raj has been here, like me, a long time. We've had the opportunity for many discussions about the quality of instruction, the quality of research, and his very ambitious agenda over the years to excel in his work. He has truly been a friend and advisor and a dear friend to this university. In fact, he's been a faculty member here since 1985. So the recognition, according to Professor Davé, reflects his unique individual talents, his commitment to the cooperative interdisciplinary efforts among colleagues in academia and industry, which is critical for achieving the breakthroughs that greatly improve the quality of our life. Raj has set a path. He has truly been an innovator in how a university of this great quality can work with business and industry to improve and to develop products that are important to the pharmaceutical industry of New Jersey. We will shortly hear more about Professor Davé's many impressive accomplishments. But before we do, I'd like to acknowledge the member of NJIT Board of Overseers who are with us here today. If the overseers would please rise, I'm going to recognize some of you individually in a moment. Thank you. Let me start with one overseer in particular, Emil Herkert, who chaired this group as he's chaired it in years past. Emil, if you would just stand up for a moment. I like to see Emil standing so I know what 6 feet plus looks like. Thank you, Emil. It was Emil's idea and initiative to create this Excellence in Research Award. So very special thank you to Emil. I'd also like to introduce a couple other members of the Overseers, John Seesholz, who you will hear from shortly. John, please. He's the chair of our Board of Overseers. Our provost, Fadi Deek, please. Fadi, if you'd please stand. He is also our executive vice president of the university, an absolutely outstanding colleague to work with. Tom Dewan, our vice provost for research. Thank you, Tom. We have seen under Fadi's leadership, Tom's leadership, significant growth in the research productivity here at this university. Congratulations, gentlemen. I'd also like to introduce Don Sebastian. Don, also a vice president here, and he is the president of our New Jersey Innovation Institute, a spin-off corporation that has been able to create work opportunities for faculty, staff, students, and his colleagues, and particularly working closely with the federal government, state government, other universities, and just had remarkable success. So thank you, Don. We have some prior winners here of the award. So Haimin Wang, please, of the Excellence in Research Award. Thank you, Haim. Haim Grable, please. Haim Grable, dear friend. And Reggie Farrow, please. So they have previously achieved this Excellence in Research Award as well. Let me also welcome two recipients of the 2016 Overseers College Research Award, Taro Narahara. Taro, you here? Not yet. You'll be joining us. And is Zian Shu here? Zian? Oh, there you are. Thank you. Taro is from our College of Architecture and Design, and Zian is from our College of Science and Liberal Arts. Given the high quality and scope of research underway at this university, it is indeed a challenge to choose one individual for the annual award that was established nearly a decade ago by this Board of Overseers. Accordingly, it is appropriate to acknowledge the other members of the committee that worked with Emil. Greg Souter, I saw Greg here. Greg, welcome, another overseer. And I also mentioned that Fadi, Atam, and Don serve on the committee. So gentlemen, again, I would second your very wise decision for this year. Each year, when we name the recipient of the Overseers Excellence in Research Award, we also honor many of the members of the NJIT community who, like Raj, are involved in leading-edge scientific inquiry with the same energy, personal commitment, intelligence, and creativity. So our dear friend Raj Davé is an example, is an exemplar of other work going on here at this university. So we honor all of you here at NJIT who aspire to comparable levels of discovery in basic practical knowledge, its applications, and partnership with business and industry. Now I ask to please join me in welcoming Atam Dewan, who is our Vice Provost for Research and Development. Atam will tell us more about Professor Davé's outstanding work and accomplishments. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Bloom. It's a great honor for me to participate in this special recognition of Professor Davé. In the time that I have for my remarks, I can only touch briefly on Professor Davé's numerous accomplishments as an internationally prominent researcher and educator, and how his work has contributed to our daily well-being. Professor Davé is the founding director of the New Jersey Center for Engineering Particulates, which is based at NJIT and affiliated with the Center for Structured Organic Particulate Systems, is sponsored by the National Science Foundation. Professor Davé is a leader in the efforts of these groups to advance innovations in particle engineering that hold great promise for the pharmaceutical, food, electronics, and energy industries. The breadth of his research interest also extends to refining techniques for data analysis and work significant for progress in diverse scientific and technological fields. To cite just one vitally important aspect of Professor Davé's work, he has been at the forefront of re-engineering drug particles to enhance the effectiveness of medication in various ways. This includes increasing the absorption rates of drugs with poor water solubility, delaying the release of medication that degrade in the acidic environment of the stomach, and masking the bitter taste of drugs to make them more palatable for children as well as for adults who have difficult swallowing. In short, we can use the medicine better and get better sooner. In addition to the primary goal of better patient care and comfort, the particle engineering involved has significant implication for making the production of the pharmaceutical more cost-effective and environmentally benign. In the course of his distinguished career, Professor Davé has garnered many awards. One especially notable honor was bestowed in 2015 by the American Institute of Chemical Engineers, the organization's Lecturership Award in Fluidization. Recent recognition for Professor Davé also includes an Innovators Award from the New Jersey Hall of Fame. These honors underscore the significance of Professor Davé's breakthrough research, which has also produced 10 issued and some dozen pending patents. Professor Davé's dedication as a teacher equals his preeminence as a researcher. Here too, past honors speak of his personal commitment of NJIT's educational mission. He has been honored by NJIT alumni with the Van Houten Award for Teaching Excellence, named a master teacher in 2008. He is also the recipient of the NC Innovation in Engineering Education Award and the NJIT Upper Graduate Level Teaching Excellence Award. In his engagement with the students, which has included mentoring some 28 PhD candidates, Professor Davé enthusiastically communicates the excitement and fulfillment of seeking new knowledge at a vital frontier of science and technology. It is a message about leading-edge research that he also promotes for educators beyond NJIT campus. Each summer, Professor Davé invites high school science teachers from across the region to participate in a program that allows them to share the experience of scientific exploration with NJIT faculty and graduate students. It is hands-on laboratory experience that will assuredly help these researchers energize their own classes and to inspire young men and women to become pioneers in new scientific territory, pioneers like Professor Davé. Clearly, Professor Davé's commitment and accomplishments merit the honor we bestow today. The video we will now see presents more about his exceptional work and career.
My name is Rajesh Davé, and I am Distinguished Professor of Chemical Engineering Department at NJIT. I was actually a professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering. One of my colleagues who had learned about where they could put nanoparticles on the surface of tiny microparticles, I was very fascinated. And then I kind of realized that this is my calling. Most of the recent work is driven by pharmaceutical, and that kind of brings a different passion, that we realize that the cost and availability of drugs is a major factor. So we decided to focus on how we can improve drug product quality. Most of the new molecules that pharmaceutical companies are coming up with, they are like brick dust or steel chips. They just do not dissolve in water. When you take it orally, it needs to dissolve in the stomach or intestine. So one of the ways is to make finer and finer particles. Our research in principle is all about engineering particulate materials. Size range all the way from nano down to 10, 20 nanometers to 200 or 300 microns. So many drugs actually degrade in the stomach's acidic environment. Essentially, you are trying to put these coating layers in such a way that you are shielding the particle from all types of conditions, whether external to the body or within the body itself. Coating of particles is nothing new. What is unique and innovative about our work is that people have not been able to coat finer particles. Typically anything below 100 micron and preferably below 50 micron. Where we have pushed the boundary is come up with a simple process, eliminated use of organic solvents, complicated process steps, and come up with coating of individual particles. So one of the most innovative coating process we have is probably one of the simplest. So we have this process where a jar shakes at 100 G force. So these high G forces create a lot of collisions between the particles. So the powder isn't like a powder anymore. It is a mass of kind of molecules of gas hitting each other. And as they hit, the smaller particles arrange around the core particle. To make these things even better, we combine two different sizes. Now, as they are bouncing around, the larger particle is not only hitting the smaller particle, but it is imparting higher velocity. Almost like we've created this system of tiny hammers hitting on the surface of each particle, coating with multi-particulate structure is created. We realize that simple coating of one single material doesn't always help. The analogy is like a sieve. You have put a layer so that openings change, releasing drugs at different rates. Thin strip films is an emerging technology. FDA is funding NJIT to develop the regulatory science for strip film products. What we have done is develop this technology that we can put very, very fine nano-sized particles uniformly distributed in a film so that we can reduce the required amount of dosage and so that it does not come out in excretion, which actually contaminate our groundwater and environment. Long term, we could probably visualize that this may help us in implants and patches, and where you want to put medication for 3 months. Even President Obama talks about precision medicine. So we are hoping that all the technology and the platforms which we are creating, you will start seeing more and more things that either dissolve in the mouth, or they can be put as a buccal delivery, or they could be a patch. Over the next 5 years, the best thing that can happen is we actually put our coating into a real commercial product. So every time somebody buys that product, you will know that this is NJIT work. A little bit longer term, we believe that we would have been working with doctors and clinicians under funding from NIH to develop actual strip film based drug that can be given to patients for clinical trial. While there is a biotech revolution going on, this is the manufacturing revolution that NJIT is part of. We want to change the way things are manufactured. It all comes down to making drugs available at reduced cost and higher quality.
And now, it's my privilege to introduce John Shishal, a 1959 alumnus of our university and chairman of the Board of Overseers. John will join President Bloom in presenting the 2016 NJIT Overseers Excellence in Research Medal to Professor Davé.
Thank you, Tom, for setting this and introducing the film. The film was very enlightening, and really so proud to be part of this great university and see the work that you do. It is really an honor to be a part of this. As Tom mentioned, I graduated over 50 years ago. The world is quite different now. We used to worry about vacuum tubes. They're long gone. And nanotechnology was never even in our awareness at that time. You have led the university in a very magnificent direction. And really your work has affected science and technology in a unexpected and positive way. You've increased the basic understanding of the relevant science. You've increased the efficiency of manufacturing, of course, and diverse materials can now be used and built in medicine, as you've shown in the video. I think your talent and creative energy has clearly enhanced the quality of life that we can personally expect today and, more importantly, into the future. So I really do appreciate being a part of this. And so, again, I just congratulate you and look forward to working with you in the years to come. Thank you. So now if you would come up and share your comments, Professor.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Joel, Atam, Fadi, Mr. Harkert, Don, and the Board of Overseers. Also, special thanks to Colleen. Without her, I don't think this would function. I also have many, many other people to thank at NJIT, but clearly the time allotted will not allow me to do so. I also would like to say that when the video was being filmed, or we were being videotaped, I had no idea how it will come out. But I'm very impressed with how it came out. But I must admit that I'm completely embarrassed to see myself and talk. And one of the crew members told me, just see it enough times and you'll start loving yourself. Hasn't happened yet. Hasn't happened yet, but who knows, someday. So really, on behalf of my students and postdocs, it is my honor to accept this award that basically punctuates the celebration of fun that's been going on for past 25 years in my life. So it's been nothing but fun. That's all it's been. And I kind of feel highly privileged that I have this job where I can be privileged again in the engagement of the what I call scholarship of relevance. So scholarship is a must as a professor, that's my job, but it also must be relevant, and I'm so fortunate that I can achieve that. So first, let me take this opportunity to thank my parents, my teachers, and my family, my wife, who Joel says that I don't deserve her. And I agree. So for her unconditional support, and if I may say, for great parties she has thrown for my group. And I know that handsome crew sitting back there, they're waiting for another one this Saturday. So I'm sure you will not be disappointed. So my wife and I, sorry about that. We also thank God for a wonderful blessing of having our daughter. And she's in India right now, and I'll say, hi, Janan, how are you? So clearly, this award is for my students and postdocs. Without them, none of this would be possible. It is all them, and I'm so glad that they are sitting there. It is all their hard work and dedication. Just as an example, and Atam mentioned this, that they have trained and accommodated in their labs with tremendous difficulties over 100 high school teachers and students over the last 10 years. Also over 100 undergraduate students. They had to train them in a given short amount of time, get work out of them so that they are not wasting their time, and thus make an impact as well as actually put their work in paper. So we have dozen or more papers that have names of those teachers or undergraduates in our lab. None of them received any extra compensation for that, so that should tell us something, their dedication. The award is for my 6 former students who are actually faculty in US now, and unfortunately they couldn't join now, but I'm sure some of them are watching. And I have a hope that my next one follows that path, although he denies that so far. He's a phenomenal presenter, and I think he'll become a master teacher if he followed this path, and I'm hoping he'll do that. There are other students like Lauren and Dan there working in industry, making their mark, and there are others who are working in government and all across the world, basically. So this is basically also for the students who were not in the video, because video really nicely captured recent work, but I'm not sure if my ex-student Bashwan is here or not, but as an example, he worked during his master's degree on what we call, oh, there he is, so proud to have him. He worked on what is now famous fuzzy C shells clustering algorithm. Whatever that is, I will not get into those details. Not only that work received a Best Paper Award at an international conference, but it is one of the highest cited papers in that field, and interestingly, he got a green card just as a master's student based on that paper and the reputation it got. This award goes to Dan sitting there and Max, his buddy, for the research that actually went into that video, those shaking dancing particles. So not just that they had fun doing it, but it is bringing royalty to NJIT and obviously all the inventors. So that's a great thing. And incidentally, I must promote my student Max. He's going to get the 2016 Best PhD Award at AICHE next month. Well deserved indeed. To end, this is an occasion for me to count my blessings. To have met and worked with so many great people, including all the collaborators outside and at NJIT. 2 of my dear colleagues, I believe they are here, Ed and Echevit, who I love and treasure having in my professional life. And I'm tempted to say that having just one of them counters all the other issues that may happen at NJIT, as Joel would not disagree with. Likewise, Jeet is there, and I believe Alberto may be there. These are my best colleagues from Rutgers who have made it so much fun to have that ERC and actually survive that. Speaking of ERC, it's a huge blessing to be part of the leadership team that pulled off that NSF-ERC at the first shot. It is still hard to believe, but it has now graduated 10 years later as one of the most successful ones, and I'm sure Alberto will agree, I'm not exaggerating, as it has made transformative impact to pharmaceutical industry, and it is still continuing to have high level of funding. In fact, as Don and others know, that this ERC may just pull off an NMI, and thank you, Don, for your efforts in that. And we'll keep our fingers crossed and touch the wood on that. The interesting blessing that comes from what I thought was a failed sabbatical because I couldn't publish anything that particular month or that particular semester, it had all started at University of Florida, where they had just launched an ERC. So I watched it go through the initial phases and all the growing pain or the learning curves. And since that day, I knew that I will be part of ERC someday. And that came true. And likewise, Fernando, my friend, who I had not met at that time, he had actually applied for a position with that ERC. So we both had our eyes on ERC since those days. So again, the blessing that is thanks to all the taxpayers who we owe so much and we must be accountable for, that we get the state and federal support, and blessing for all the money that comes, including this NSF-ERC program, international travel. My greatest travel buddy, Lauren, sitting there, she collected more miles than I did during those years. Another blessing is that I have students who actually write or present better than I can. I mean, few of them are sitting there. Some of them write papers so well that it takes me a couple of hours to go through them. And I just put a couple of comments, and that's about it. You know, it's all on autopilot. They can do that. Of course, there are others who need more help, but I don't mind that. It's all a balanced portfolio. So, last, again, a lot of blessings that we have money from industry, quite a few of them, and most of all from Catalan Pharma Solutions, which has now invested a lot of money in commercialization of NJIT technology. And I'm also blessed to have at least one of the representatives from our IP office, but Brian, Judith, and Sanjeev for doing a remarkable job on not only securing IP, but helping us do the licensing agreements without any disagreements with the other party. So last then, blessed to have my dear friends here, even more blessed to have my alum and current students sitting there who will forever remain my part of academic family. As I said, it's all been fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Raj. I also have the privilege this afternoon of introducing Emil Herkert, Chair Emeritus of the Board of Overseers and Chair of the Excellence in Research Committee. Emil.
Well, it's been a great privilege for me to participate in the Overseers Excellence in Research Award, and for 9 years to share in the presenting of this recognition to members of the NJIT community. Recently, an aircraft named Solar Impulse flew around the world, powered by solar energy from the sun. Many in the audience today may have seen the photo taken toward the end of this epic journey that showed the aircraft flying above the pyramids in Egypt. I found this to be a particularly striking and thought-provoking image, one that says a great deal to me about why we're here today to honor Professor Davé. The photo sends a powerful message about how far we've progressed toward a better life for the people of every nation through science and technology. It's true that great technical skill and deep understanding of astronomy and mathematics were required to plan and build the pyramids. Yet that basic knowledge and technological know-how benefited just a few individuals, those at the very top of society in ancient Egypt. The aircraft seen in the photo represents not just a voyage in space, but also one across thousands of years of time toward an awareness that the benefits of science and technology must be made available to people everywhere at every level of society. It also speaks eloquently of what we can achieve through creative research in energy, materials, and numerous other disciplines. Professor Davé and his many talented colleagues at NJIT are all part of this great venture, the work of beneficial scientific discovery. To close, I'd like to thank Eladio, Colleen, the video crew, and all who have made this ceremony a success. Now let's all give Professor Davé a warm final round of applause for a job well done. This concludes our formal program, and I invite you to extend your personal congratulations to Professor Davé at the reception prepared in his honor at the University Club next door. Thank you very much.